I came across this viral TikTok from a pretty big content creator. She's doing a whole expose on Paolo Zampolli, Melania Trump, Donald Trump, and you guessed it, none other than Jeffrey Epstein. The story is wild, but what stood out to me wasn't the web of connections. It was the way she framed it, all through this lens of victimhood. According to this content creator, Melania dated Paolo Zampolli before she got with Donald Trump. Now, Zampolli, who was close to Trump, helped him with modeling connections, business advice, and all that. Vice versa, they both helped each other. They were birds of a feather, men in power helping each other, networking through the modeling industry. In my culture, we'd say, my culture being Belizean, hand washes hand. Everyone in that circle eats from the same table. Now, here is the thing. The video presents like some big, shocking conspiracy.
So I found this old photo of Paolo Zampolli and Melania Trump back when they were in Italy. And as I make sense of how we got from Milan to the White House, I really started looking at both Paolo and Donald's business models and used the exact same architecture to build their empires. Once Paolo brought Melania to the United States, he founded ID Models, which he turned into an international modeling agency.
As if this information is so rich and powerful that men have always used beauty as currency, and the modeling world is filled with, well, exploitation. That's the best way I can put it. But we've known this for decades. The modeling industry has always and will always continue to have a dark side. It's not a charity. It's not a girls' empowerment program. It's a meat market. Now, this content creator even mentions a horrific case where a well-known photographer assaulted a 22-year-old model and then published the images of that photo shoot in some sort of voyeuristic art book. Now, this is absolutely sick stuff, but here's what's even sicker. This isn't an exception in the industry, it's the norm. The system thrives on desperation of girls chasing dreams in places they don't fully understand. Sometimes these girls come from countries across the ocean, in Europe, Poland, like Melania Trump, Slovenia, Latin America. But here's where I might lose some of y'all. I don't fully buy the victim narrative. If you're being told you need to starve yourself, get surgery, change your looks, strip naked, be agreeable, take direction, keep quiet, and work with shady men to make it, why would you stay? At what point is it less about coercion and more about choice? Now, I know this sounds harsh, but I say it because I've been around that world. I did some acting and modeling when I was young. The rule in our house was simple. I never went anywhere alone. My mom was always with me. If I went to a shoot or an audition, she would say, "We need to have someone with you." And it was an automatic no if I said I can go alone. Where are the boundaries now? You've got women who enter the world of modeling knowing exactly what it takes, and then they are somehow shocked when it turns out gross and dangerous. Sorry, but no one is locking you in some basement. These aren't human trafficking victims. They are women making choices, and sometimes those choices are about fame and fortune, not safety and dignity. And I say that because we see it in just every single day, women striving on the internet to be seen, to be noticed, to be recognized. Let's talk about Melania Trump. Now, she chose to do nude shoots. That was her decision. There's no way in the universe, or any universe, I'd let the world see my body like that. My body is for me, my husband, not some photographer with a lens and a check. Even now, Sydney Sweeney, you know her, she's a famous actress. Oddly enough, she's an odd-looking girl to me. She's been posing for American Eagle in a wildly sexual ad. And the part that puzzles me about this is the fact that American Eagle is not a brand for adults, it's for teens. It's not Calvin Klein. That's what the modeling industry thrives on. Sex. The more cringe, the more viral, the more disturbing, definitely the more profitable. Remember Brooke Shields in that Calvin Klein ad? It worked the same way. It is a formula that works. Now, some of these women not only accept the chaos, they thrive in it. The TikTok creator that made that video even said that some girls in Epstein's circle ended up recruiting others. What? So you were hurt and you turned around and did the same thing to someone else. That is not survival. That is participation, willing participation. How do I feel when I hear these stories? I don't feel sorrow. It's like prostitution to me. You weren't forced, you chose that path. You wanted something, you wanted attention, fame, money, and you were willing to risk it all. Risk everything to get what you wanted. Now, I saw a video recently of a woman saying, why would you sell your body when you could just work at McDonald's? And that's an honorable thing to do, to just go work instead of being a streetwalker. And somehow people on the Facebook app attacked her as if she was heartless. But is she wrong? Why do we pretend there is no alternative for some of these women? I know that it's broken. I know that these decisions sometimes are hard because some people choose to go into these industry thinking, I will protect myself, I will do everything I can, and somehow they still get attacked. And it starts with one simple word, no. When someone asks you to take your shirt off and show your breast, no. When someone tells you to come back to a room because that's where you're gonna make some sort of agreement, no. When someone says you gotta sign this modeling contract, but you gotta make a decision now and press you without an attorney or someone to look over said contract, no. Also, do as these men that are powerful do. Donald Trump built his entire fortune on suing people. How I know this? Every single business person that has dealt with Donald Trump in some capacity where he didn't get his way were sued. Donald Trump is the master of using the law to his side. And these women should do the same. Ask yourself why these women don't go and sue these men, why they don't go and file police reports, why they don't speak about it immediately as it happens, why people are so afraid to out people and say their names. Well, the leverage these billionaires have is that they have this cycle going, and there's a lot of people that are cowardice and too ashamed to change it. A lot of these models run home, they go back to their countries, and they just give up. But these men don't. They continue to recruit more and more women desperate. And the reason I want to bring this up is because of the recent video I just saw on McAfee's wife giving an interview talking about this situation of her going along with everything McAfee wanted. And it made me beg the question, why do women allow themselves to be used like this? And why do men choose, especially powerful men, choose women that are willing participants to be prostituted? And I asked some men about this and they said, it's simple. It's agreeableness. The prostitute, the woman that is on the street, will do whatever you want. And their answer will always be yes. Their agreeable nature makes them easy prey for a predator. And I added to that could it also be that when a woman is a loose woman, a fast woman, that she's much more willing to join into the chaos. Think of John McAfee's life. It was chaotic. He was wanted by probably several cartels. He had a lot of shady dealings, and only a woman of the night, I believe, would be willing to participate in such things. Drop your comments below, and if you are like me, frustrated that we keep painting grown women as powerless victims, or do you think the industry is just too corrupt and everyone caught up in it is a part of a much bigger, darker problem? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Have a great day. Think for yourself.
If you enjoyed this content today, or you just like these type of conversations, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I do respond to as many comments as possible. Remember, as always, think for yourself and have a great day.